The path begins with the spiritual devotee. The devotee is when the seed is hitting the earth. Yeah, and we have another example with the caterpillar. The caterpillar here is eating well. The devotee says, this is my school. This is my teacher. This is my sangha, my community. These are my people, my practices. I believe, I follow. The spiritual tourist was a customer of spirituality. I'm in the center, do something. Gurus, dance, jump for me, so I choose you. You, okay. The spiritual devotee says, no, this is the center. My teacher, my path, that's the center. I gravitate around that. This is the path. The path says, love your neighbor. I don't feel to love my neighbor. I hate my neighbor, honestly. But I want to follow this path, and I believe this path. So I start to change myself to love my neighbor. Yeah? I gravitate around the path. The tourist, the path gravitate around me. And then transformation starts. The devotee still lives in the world. And worldly life, worldly pleasures, money and all that is the center. Family life, whatever. But every week go to see the teacher. Every week you go to church, but not as the fake spiritual. You go to church because your heart longs to see the church, the preacher, Christ. Or you go to your yoga class, your Tantra class. Let's say you have a Qigong master, and that is a real master, and that teaches you the depth of Qigong or whatever is there. And you go and you devote yourself. You humble yourself. And this process, your ego starts to dissolve. Because my ego wants to hate my neighbor, but me, I choose the path. So I learn to love. I want to be lazy, but I'm devoted to this path, and this path says dynamism. Every day, 5 a.m., wake up, pray, meditate. I believe in the path. I hate waking up, but I believe in the path. And that friction, that's when spiritual awakening begins. The risk of devotees is to become fanatic. As you might have seen, we had 1 or 2 wars of devotees who were fanatic, or thousands actually of wars that were devotees to this sect and not to that sect. Protestant killing Catholics, Muslims, Christians killing each other, and so forth. Religious wars, religious hate, fanatism. Basically, when the devotion to the path is happening without real love, as one pillar, and without applying the universal principle as the other pillar, the heart dries out. And instead of having loving faith, you have heartless faith, and that's fanatism. You take love out of faith, and you have fanatism. Left, people get dogmatic, and then they basically regress into a kind of strange, fake spirituality where they don't really live for the values, or they somehow live for the values but also become very violent and dogmatic. Spiritual devotees can already attain enlightenment. A devotee that really loves their master doesn't need to do any other spiritual practice if that love is extraordinary. It's very rare. Mostly you will need to do some practice, or you will feel inclined to. But the state of devotion, of self-giving, this is the center, not me, that can snap you out of your ego and bring you to gravitate around spirituality, and even to have states of cosmic consciousness and so forth. The next stage is that of a spiritual disciple, what is called sadhaka, or sometimes the struggling sadhaka in the Indian tradition. Here the seed is sprouting, and that hurts. When the seed was reaching the ground, the devotee is very nice, you go once a week, you sing, is not too challenging. But now, when you want to crack the shell of the seed and sprout, that's really hard. For the devotee, the center is the worldly life, and there is an important, stable place for spirituality. Yeah? So, bigger is the worldly life. The disciple, this changes. The worldly life becomes small, almost meaningless. If you are a good disciple, it doesn't mean so much for you, and then the path becomes everything. A spiritual disciple, you start to devote more and more of your time to spirituality, up to all your time to spirituality. Everything. That's when you go to a monastery, to an ashram, to the forest, to the cave, and you just want to give everything. You do karma yoga, you volunteer, you practice day in, day out. In the Gurdjieff school, they call it person number 4, that every moment, whatever you do, you're trying to wake up, to love, to break through. And at this level, we have the big showdown, the big fight, the fighting scene of the movie, the soul and the ego, full on. World war inside, the inner revolution. This is a very, very difficult stage of the spiritual path. This is where the coal becomes a diamond through this very intense pressure. All the tendencies which are selfish, lazy, afraid, hesitant, not wanting to open here, wanting to keep this for myself, being comfortable, whatever. All the lower tendencies are confronted with the eternal spiritual ideal of courage, love, dynamism, enthusiasm, a perfect enthusiasm, a perfect love. And then you see, oh, this is my love, and that's the perfect love. Okay. Every day you make your love grow, and everything that doesn't allow you to love stands in the way. And you fight all your demons and all your limitations. And it sounds very romantic, but it's really, really hard. And you're like, I mean, some of you might feel in your heart, yes, I want it, and it's wonderful, go for it. But it's really hard, no joke. And you need to be ready for a battle of a lifetime. Everything needs to comply with the perfect spiritual principles. And at this level of the disciple, you are still extremely human. And everything that is limited there is burning in very intense friction. The risk here is to burn down. Many disciples, they just make so much effort, they crack themselves, they injure themselves, they become sleepless and I don't know what, and it's very important. Being a disciple, you need a teacher. You cannot invest yourself fully after reading a book. Or you can, but it is very dangerous. You need a teacher and you need a friend. Hopefully many friends. One teacher is enough. If you have 2 or 3, great. But many friends, if possible, and you just pull through. And this is a process that can easily take a year or 20 or 30 years. To the stage of spiritual disciple is no joke. Some spiritual disciples, they start to doubt the path. They start to be afraid. You have stuff coming out. If you are on a serious spiritual path, you have stuff coming out of your subconscious, like you can't imagine that you have such monsters living there underground, and you can get scared, you can get doubtful, the process takes too long, you don't want, one thing that happens to spiritual disciples, they are not willing to let go of that. They want to stay lazy, or they want to stay, I want to be still afraid of that. No, you cannot. You have to be courageous about that. That's just that. Face that. Face your fear of the other gender. Face your fear of poverty. Face your fear of money. If you can't face it, money will take over. And you will be so financially anxious, money will pull you off the path. So the stage of a spiritual disciple, you're meeting and struggling and hopefully defeating all your weaknesses. And that process brings the sprouting of the seed. And then, I mean, you look at a seed, you look at a sprout, and you say, what a miracle. How come a seed becomes? How did a seed become a sprout? And so, as a spiritual disciple, you look in the mirror after a year of burning, and you see a sprout. You say, but no, I'm a seed. And you look, no, I'm a sprout. My God, what a miracle. And sometimes you jump back to the seed, sprout again, jump back. It has these tendencies, or the sprouting is half. But the progress that happens here at the stage of the disciple is miraculous. And if you identify yourself in this stage, you need to have a total determination. That's it. The sprout actually never returns to the seed. The seed is dead forever. So you need to be totally determined to go to the soul and crack free from the shell of the ego. Examples here, the great Swami Rama, for example, he was from the age of 6, his guru took him, or maybe 4. His guru came to the mother and said, this baby is mine. There was a miracle at his birth, right? I brought the miracle, he's mine, he's my disciple. And a good Indian mother said yes, and gave him the child, 4 years old. Today they would all be arrested. This was long enough ago. And he took the boy to the Himalaya. From the age of 4, Swami Rama was a full-on disciple. He was an incarnation. He would meditate every day. And his guru told him, you meditate, I think, 14 years, 4 hours every day, or 7 years, 4 hours every day, something like that, and you will attain samadhi. You will attain states of cosmic consciousness. And then Swami Rama realized after I don't know how many years, he did double the period. And he said, look, I've done 10 years or 15 years, much more than you said. 4 hours I meditated every day. And I live here on the Himalaya with the purest food and the greatest discipline. And I've been devoted to you. I didn't get samadhi. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to throw myself in the river and kill myself. And the guru said, Swami, are you an idiot? You can swim. You jump in the river, you will swim. How will you die? Tie a rope with a big stone. Like that, if you jump, you will die. He says, here, let me give you. And he gives him a rope and the stone. And Swami, yes, you will see, and I will kill myself. Yeah, like this, you will kill myself. It's much more logical. So he ties the rope there with a big stone, and he's walking towards the river. And his guru says, Rama, come here. And he's coming there with the stone, and the guru taps him on the forehead, and he enters his first state of samadhi and becomes himself a spiritual master. He was also then in the West and exhibited a numerous number of paranormal powers. In the 70s, he could stop his heart, he can create any kind of brain waves, change the body temperature, and so forth. But this is the stage of a spiritual disciple. It's as if you are walking in an endless tunnel and you don't know if you make progress or not, and you just gotta keep walking until you reach the light in the end of the tunnel. And it is the beauty of the spiritual path, this level. If we take the example of the caterpillar, this is the cocoon stage. You ate, and now you are in the cocoon, and you are not yet a butterfly, but definitely no longer a caterpillar. You lost interest in the world. There is a part from the Ramayana that Rama goes to one of the saints there and he says, look, I've lost all interest in the world and I can't find the spirit yet. This is the stage of a spiritual disciple. Nothing makes sense anymore. You don't want money, you don't want fame, you don't want, I don't know what, couple relationship, family relationship. Yeah, been there, done that, not interested. All you want is the spirit and you can't find it.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.